Chapter 1. The Invisible Theft. Right now, as you are watching this video, a theft is happening. It's happening inside your bank account, it's stripping away your paycheck, and it's bleeding into every single financial decision you make. And the worst part? These thieves are completely invisible. They operate entirely in the shadows, in the massive gap between what you actually know and what you should have been taught in school. $246 billion. That is the exact amount of money Americans collectively lose every single year simply because they don't understand how money works. This isn't a stock market crash. This is pure ignorance. We are talking about overdraft fees that could have been easily avoided, high-interest debt that should have been refinanced, missed investment returns left sitting on the table, and predatory scams that went unrecognized. The average person loses roughly $1,000 every single year due to a lack of basic financial literacy. Think about that. Over a 40-year working career, that's a straight loss of $40,000. But the real cost? The real cost is exponentially worse. If that same $1,000 a year had been properly invested at a modest 8% annual return, it would have compounded into over $270,000 by the time you reach retirement. That $270,000 is the literal difference between working until you're 70 just to survive and stopping at age 62 to actually live. That's 5 full years of retirement income. That is a down payment on a house, completely gone, just because the right information was never delivered to you. And remember this, the people who benefit from your ignorance have absolutely zero incentive to educate you. Credit card companies get filthy rich when you don't understand how compound interest works against you. Car dealerships maximize profits when you can't calculate the true cost of ownership. Banks give you a fraction of a percent to hold your cash, while they turn around and lend it out at 20 times that rate. The entire financial services industry is built on a foundation of your confusion. In this video, I am going to walk you through the complete financial literacy curriculum that should have been mandatory education. This isn't a boring lecture. This is the blueprint to your financial freedom. The next 15 minutes could literally redefine the next 40 years of your life. Let's get started. Chapter 2. Diagnosing the patient. Know where you stand. There's a famous quote that applies perfectly to your wallet. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you are. And if you don't know where you are, you have no idea where you are going. The absolute first step to financial literacy is having the courage to look into a mirror and face your numbers. Most people actively run away from this step. They have a vague, gut-wrenching feeling that things are bad, or a casual assumption that things are okay without ever quantifying what that actually means in cold, hard cash. Moving forward, there are 3 numbers that must live rent-free in your head at all times: your yearly net income, your yearly expenses, and your annual surplus or deficit. Notice I said yearly, not monthly. Why? Because a monthly budget hides the truth. It misses the irregular, unpredictable spikes, the random car repair, the quarterly insurance premium, a close friend's wedding gift, or that annual software subscription you forgot you signed up for. A yearly view forces you to look at reality. Net income. This is the actual cash that hits your bank account after taxes and deductions are cleared. Yearly expenses. This isn't what you think you spend, it's what you actually spend. Everything from your monthly rent down to those late-night impulse Amazon purchases. Now, subtract your expenses from your income. That final number tells you everything you need to know about your future. If the number is negative, you are operating at an income deficit. You are moving backward every single month, actively destroying your future options and stacking up debt. If the number is positive, congratulations, that is your surplus. And here is the psychological shift you need to make right now. Your income buys your lifestyle, but your surplus buys your freedom. Someone making $200,000 a year who spends all $200,000 is not a single step closer to financial freedom than someone making $50,000 and saving $5,000. In fact, the high earner is often trapped worse. They wear golden handcuffs, bound to a toxic, exhausting job because it's the only thing sustaining a hyperinflated lifestyle designed to consume every single dollar it generates.
Chapter 3. The Credit Score Game. Rules of the System. Making money is one game, but navigating your credit score is the actual rulebook of the modern financial system. Your credit score isn't just a random number, it is a grade assigned to your reliability. If your score is elite, lenders will bend over backward to offer you the lowest interest rates on earth, saving you hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. If your score is poor, you either won't qualify or the interest rates will be so predatory that building wealth becomes almost impossible. The single biggest mistake people make in this game is credit utilization. If your credit card has a $10,000 limit and you consistently carry a $5,000 balance, your utilization is 50%. To the algorithms running the banks, you look desperate for cash. To maximize your score, you want to keep that utilization under 30% and under 10% if you want a perfect score. Credit cards are not evil, they are highly advanced tools. If you pay your balance in full every single month, the card company gives you fraud protection, free travel points, and cash back. The tool is literally paying you to use it. But if you carry a balance, you have walked directly into their trap. Chapter 4.
Risk, allocation plus behavior, the mind game. Your investment success depends only 20% on your intelligence and 80% on your behavior. The market is a massive psychological test. Your asset allocation is how you divide your portfolio between aggressive growth assets like stocks and safe, stable assets like bonds. When you are young, your allocation should be heavily weighted towards stocks because you have time on your side. As you get closer to retirement, you gradually shift toward bonds to protect your capital. But the math means nothing if your behavior fails. When the stock market inevitably crashes, and it will, the average investor panics. They see their portfolio drop by 20%, they freeze, and they sell everything at the absolute bottom, locking in their losses. True investors view a crash as a massive clearance sale. The greatest wealth is built by people who do absolutely nothing when the market panics, or better yet, buy more. Control your emotions, trust the historical timeline, and stop checking your portfolio every single day. Chapter 5.
Crypto. Speculation, not investing. The Wild West. Let's address the elephant in the modern financial world, cryptocurrency. We have all seen the headlines of overnight millionaires and 10,000% gains. But we need to call it what it actually is. Buying crypto is speculation. It is not investing. When you invest in a company or real estate, you own something that produces a product, sells a service, collects rent, and generates actual cash flow. Cryptocurrency produces nothing. Its price is driven purely by sentiment, hype, and the greater fool theory, the hope that someone else will come along and buy it from you at a higher price. Can you make money in crypto? Absolutely. But it belongs in the gambling category of your budget, not your wealth foundation. If you want to play the crypto market, do it with money you are 100% prepared to lose entirely. Never risk your fortress for a trend. Chapter 6.
Cars, true costs plus smart buying, the wealth killer. Outside of housing, a vehicle is the largest purchase most people make, and it is the absolute #1 killer of wealth for the middle class. The moment you drive a brand new car off the lot, it loses roughly 20% of its value. By year 5, it has lost 60%. You are literally taking out a high-interest loan to buy an asset that is aggressively melting away. Worse yet, people only look at the monthly payment. They think, I can afford $500 a month, without looking at the true cost of ownership. When you factor in higher insurance premiums, interest on the loan, fuel, and rapid depreciation, that $500 payment easily turns into a $900 monthly drain on your surplus. The smart buying framework is simple. Buy a reliable, slightly used car cash if you can. If you must finance, use the 20-4-10 rule.
Put down at least 20%, finance for no more than 4 years, and ensure the total monthly cost doesn't exceed 10% of your take-home pay. A car is a tool to get you from point A to point B, not a status symbol to impress strangers at a red light.
Chapter 7. Housing, Rent versus Buy, the Math. You have probably been told a million times that renting is throwing money away and buying a home is always the best investment. This is an emotional narrative pushed by real estate agents, not a mathematical fact. Let's break down the hidden math. Rent is not throwing money away. It is paying for a roof over your head and maximum flexibility. When you rent, your rent payment is the maximum amount you will pay for housing that month. When you own a home, your mortgage payment is the absolute minimum you will pay. Homeowners face unrecoverable costs that never build equity: property taxes, home insurance, HOA fees, mortgage interest, and the brutal reality of maintenance. If your roof leaks or your HVAC system dies, that's a $10,000 bill straight out of your pocket. Buying makes total sense if you plan to stay in one place for more than 7 to 10 years and the local market math works out. But if you are moving soon, renting and investing your surplus in the stock market can frequently leave you significantly wealthier than buying a house too early. Do the math, ignore the hype. Chapter 8. Insurance. Protect against catastrophes. The Shield. You can build the most perfect investment portfolio on earth, but if you don't have the right shields in place, a single bad day can wipe out decades of hard work. That is what insurance is for. But most people buy the wrong kind. The golden rule of insurance is simple. Only insure against catastrophic losses that would financially ruin you. You do not need extended warranties on an iPad or a toaster. If those break, it's annoying, but it won't break your bank. You do need high-quality health insurance, auto insurance, homeowners or renters insurance, and term life insurance if you have dependents relying on your income. Avoid complex, high-fee products like whole life insurance that mix investing with insurance. Buy simple term life insurance for a fraction of the price and invest the difference yourself in index funds. Insurance is an expense designed to protect your wealth, not a tool to build it. Chapter 9. Scams plus Fraud Prevention, Defending the Gates. As your wealth begins to grow, you will inevitably become a target. The financial world is packed with predators looking for easy prey, and modern scams are highly sophisticated. The ultimate rule of fraud prevention is built on a simple psychological truth. If an investment opportunity sounds too good to be true, it is an absolute scam. If anyone promises you guaranteed high returns with zero risk, run away immediately. If an investment opportunity requires high urgency or forces you to recruit your friends to make money, it is a Ponzi scheme. Protect your accounts with complex, unique passwords. Turn on two-factor authentication on every financial app, and never click on links in text messages claiming your bank account is locked. Making money is hard. Keeping it requires absolute vigilance at the gates. Chapter 10. Taxes, Essentials plus Best Practices. Keep what's yours. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you actually get to keep. Taxes will be the single largest expense of your entire lifetime, yet most people treat tax season like an unpredictable lottery. To win, you have to understand the difference between tax evasion, which is highly illegal, and tax avoidance, which is utilizing the legal frameworks written into the tax code to minimize your liability. By maximizing your contributions to pre-tax retirement accounts or a health savings account, HSA, you legally lower your taxable income today. When you invest outside of retirement accounts, ensure you hold your assets for more than 1 year before selling. This qualifies you for long-term capital gains tax, which has a significantly lower tax rate than ordinary income. Treat tax strategy as a year-round discipline, not a panic-induced scramble in April. Chapter 11. From Knowledge to an Action Plan. We have covered the entire financial curriculum that schools completely hid from you. From tracking your surplus to crushing bad debt, mastering credit, automating budgets, and outsmarting Wall Street with low-cost index funds.
But let me be incredibly direct with you.
Knowledge without execution is entirely useless. Here is your immediate 4-step action plan to execute within the next 24 hours. 1. Calculate your baseline. Find your exact annual income and expenses down to the penny. 2. Automate your fortress. Set up an automatic transfer to build your high-yield emergency fund first. 3. Draw your line. Pick your strategy, avalanche or snowball, and start aggressively wiping out high-interest bad debt. 4. Shield your future. Open a tax-advantaged account and set up a monthly recurring investment into a low-cost index fund. The invisible thieves in your bank account only have power when you remain passive. The minute you take deliberate action, you break the system and reclaim your future self's freedom. If you are ready to take control of your numbers today, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below stating your very first step, and share this video with one person you refuse to leave behind. Thank you for staying, thank you for investing in yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.